this will break your heart. I'm never gonna hold you back. I'm always gonna have your back. So try to remember that. I hope you're happy.
Good morning,
I
everyone.
hope you're good.
Happy Tuesday, the 21st, April. I am not as crabby as I was last night, thankfully. I even woke up before my alarm, which is crazy, and I'm recording this before we go for our bike ride at 5:45. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. All right, here goes our reading from Alfred Lord Tennyson. More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. When we talk with our higher power, we admit to ourselves that we need help from a power greater than ourselves. When we remind ourselves every moment of the day that we cannot live without our higher power sustaining us, we will seek an even closer relationship with God in order to grow and maintain our sobriety. When we meditate on the word power, we bring a new strength, new energy, and a new dedication to our lives. We could draw on this power anytime we choose. And when we can use our new power, through prayer. When we pray, seeking God's guidance every day, we learn to trust and depend on our higher power to help us through each day's challenges. We are no longer alone. Today, let me surrender my life to my higher power and be grateful for his presence in my life. In the second paragraph, did you catch how it says when we meditate on the word power, we bring a new strength, new energy, and new dedication to our lives? So even if you're not a God or a higher power person, there still has to be something, right? Something that made us born, I guess, and makes things happen behind the scenes. And I think that having faith in something, and again, mine's the universe, it takes all the pressure off of ourselves, or at least some of the pressure off of ourselves, so that we can spend time and energy on things we can't control, essentially. I think relinquishing control is a good exercise anyway. You know, one example in the addict world, if we learn how to relinquish control, one example that a lot of folks struggle with, but it works out beautifully as a barrier, is control of the money. So if the gambler was the person who wrote out the bills and handled the finances every month, once they go through the coming clean with their family and setting up ways to not gamble again, once they're committed to not gambling again, one of the steps is to hand their money over to maybe the person who didn't handle the money and hand over that control. And it's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. It's really hard for the men. I hear the men all the time, you know, it's they associate handling the bills with their ego, and probably anybody would, I guess. So if you can practice I said it right the first time. If you could practice giving up that power of those things, you know, the burdens that you carry, it goes back to that cup or scale being so full of shit, you got no room for the good stuff. You know, there's a threshold for the capacity of what we can hold. It's the same thing. If you have nowhere to get rid of that stuff, you can't let the good in. So it's the same concept. You know, give that bad stuff away, you know, and that sounds pretty horrible. I guess I didn't mean it to sound as like give your shit to, you know, God or your higher power. Because I believe also, and I guess this would depend on what you believe in, but I believe in the gratitude part too, right? So we can give up our shit, and maybe that's a priority at the moment, but also thanking the universe, God, higher power, whoever, for taking our shit and for all the stuff that we do have. And I would think that most of us probably have a lot to be grateful for. Whether or not we can see it through the lens we're wearing at the moment could be different, but we have a lot to be grateful for. I have a lot to be grateful for. And I am going to start the day in that place. If I start in a place of gratitude today, maybe I won't end up so grumpy by the end of the day. So I'm going to be grateful for my bicycle, grateful to have a friend to go riding with me so I get out of bed in the morning. Grateful I have a job that even if I get annoyed over dumb little things, I still have a job, which helps me fund this 3-2-1 project. So I need to be grateful for that. I have a friend that I can walk with every day. I have legs that help me walk. I'm grateful that today's a month without a cigarette, even though I really would want one sometimes. I'm grateful that I also haven't been having coffee. I'm not grateful that I haven't been having coffee, but I'm grateful that I accomplished not having coffee. I will say I miss it. I miss it a lot in the morning. I'm drinking green tea. And also I'm on this mission with quarantine to kind of like do, not inventory, but get, what do you call it? Rotation. So I'm trying to work through everything that I own if I can, because I'm always gallivanting. And when the world is functioning correctly, it's so much easier to just stop and go out to eat, or social plans tend to be around going out to eat. So I'm trying to rotate through things. So I'm emptying my canisters so that the new box of green tea I can put into them. I know it sounds silly, but we all have our coping with the quarantine silly things I guess we're doing. I mean, that's just one, but it'll be fun to see what the back of my freezer looks like, I guess, because I make things. I'm Italian, and even though I never met really my grandfather on the Italian side, my mother did a good job of teaching me how to not be able to cook small. So every time I make a soup or a stew or whatever, I can cook for an army. So I'm trying to work through my army's worth of food, and it keeps me out of the stores too. So I'm behaving on quarantine. I really only go and grocery shop at one time. So I'm grateful that I have food in the house. I'm grateful that I know how to cook. I'm grateful that I'm not super fussy on things. And yeah, see, the grateful list can go on and on. Right now, I'm grateful that I have enough time to finish getting ready before going on the ride. So I hope that everybody has a Super Tuesday. I'm going to have a Super Tuesday because I'm declaring it. I'm setting my intention for today to not be a grumpy ass like yesterday, to come from a place of gratitude, and it's just going to be perfect. All right, it won't be perfect. It'll be amazing. How's that? So I hope you have an amazing day too, beautiful people. Bobbie the Awesome is out. Going to kick butt now.